Hi, I'm Alex Miller. I'm a fitness expert and women's pelvic health specialist from Vancouver, Canada. I have trained under some of the most influential fitness professionals in the industry in various methods, including weightlifting, functional movement, treadmill running, and meditation. Welcome to Female Vitality Blueprint. This is your guide to a well-functioning pelvic floor and the best intimacy of your life. What really is an orgasm? An orgasm is a physical reflex in the body that creates a tightening during arousal, followed by a rhythmic contraction as the muscles slowly begin to relax. The pelvic floor. What is the pelvic floor? The pelvic floor is like a woven basket of muscles that hold your bladder, uterus, and bowels. These muscles can become dysfunctional for a variety of reasons. However, pregnancy and hormonal changes are the most common. The pelvic floor has been designed to work automatically, so most of the time, people don't have to think about it. However, if it's not doing what it should, we then have to focus on moving it for proper function. The movement of the pelvic floor is very small. It should only move millimeters when gently tightening and releasing. You can't see it, but you should be able to feel it. What does the pelvic floor have to do with orgasms? The stronger your pelvic floor is, the stronger your orgasms will be. During sex, before an orgasm occurs, the pelvic floor muscles become tense, drawing a healthy amount of blood to your pelvic area. Once the orgasm occurs, the muscles relax. It is important to have a properly functioning pelvic floor that can fully relax and contract easily for ease and the ability to orgasm. Blueprint quiz. Is your pelvic floor dysfunctional or functional? Dysfunctional. Unable to have an orgasm or it takes a lot of effort? Low vaginal blood flow and sensation? Low sexual arousal? Accidental leakage? Urinary fecal incontinence? Often fails to make it to the restroom in time? Chronic constipation and straining? Belly pooch? Weak core stability? Urgency or frequency of needing to urinate? Difficulty starting to pee, or you dribble after you have finished? Feeling like you can't get a good contraction, or you feel weak when you try to contract? Kegels. Tampons falling out? Heavy pulling feeling? May feel like there's a tampon inside? Pelvic organ prolapse, a distinct bulge at the vaginal opening? Lower back pain? Tailbone pain? Pelvic pain and or pressure? SI joint pain, the back of your pelvis? And or hip pain? Pain with sex, penetration? And or sex not feeling like it used to before kids? Functional. Able to achieve a strong orgasm. Healthy vaginal blood flow and sensitivity. Higher sexual arousal during intercourse. No accidental leakage, urinary fecal incontinence. Control over your bladder and bowels. Ease going to the restroom. Improved emotional well-being with intimacy and daily life. Strong ache-free back and hips. Improved abdominal tone and core stability. Able to get a strong contraction. Kegels. There are two forms of pelvic floor dysfunction: hyperactive, hypotonic; overactive, hypertonic. Blueprint quiz. Is your pelvic floor overactive or underactive? Underactive. Your pelvic floor lacks endurance and power? What type of delivery did you have? Was it long with lots of pushing? Did your pelvic floor eventually tire out and turn off? You have pelvic organ prolapse? May feel like a bulge at the vaginal opening? May feel like your vagina and rectum are collapsing? Your body responds well to Kegels. You can easily contract and relax. If this is you, it's time we wake up your pelvic floor muscles. When exercising, you will want to pay close attention to lifting your pelvic floor with every exhale. However, it is very important that you still relax your pelvic floors on the inhale to maintain that full contraction. If you would like, along with the 3-step movement sequence, once you learn how to do a proper Kegel, you can practice Kegels throughout your day whenever you have a moment. Overactive. You often carry stress. You may have sensations of not fully emptying your bladder. You are unable to get a strong contraction when doing a Kegel because you're already halfway contracted. You tend to shallow breathe. Do your shoulders raise when inhaling? You have tailbone pain. You clench your jaw or grind your teeth at night. Your jaw mimics your pelvic floor, and it is a really good indicator of what's happening down below. Pelvic muscles may be sore and painful. The pain may radiate into different areas of the pelvis, including the low back, abdomen, and hips. If this is you, let's focus on unwinding and relaxing. Why not end your evening with a hot bath and a cup of herbal tea tonight? Just like a dog tucks its tail under when they experience discomfort, our bodies react the same way when it experiences stress. Our pelvic floor tends to tighten, and we hold stress in our pelvis. It is important for us to focus on calming our nervous system with deep breathing and lengthening stretches to counterbalance life's stressors. When practicing the gentle stretches below, focus on softening your jaw by bringing your tongue to the top of your mouth, relaxing your urethra, vagina, and rectum. Just when you think you have fully relaxed all three areas, can you relax each one a little bit more? And again, can you soften each area even more? Make it a goal to keep these areas relaxed as often as you possibly can. We can do all the stretching in the world, but if you are clenching these areas the other 99% of your day, you won't see any improvement. It takes focus and consistency. Overactive pelvic floor releases. You can practice these stretches daily if they make you feel great. Some women prefer to do them every second day. I would recommend holding each position for a minimum of 30 seconds. You can do a different stretch each day or compile them for a longer session. Hip opening squat. Using a bolster or rolled up towel, find a deep squat position. Your knees should be elevated higher than your hips. Your knees should be tracking over your second toe in a turned out position. Bring your hands together in front of your chest. Gently press your knees apart with your elbows as you widen your collarbones across your chest. Soften your pelvic floor as you focus on deep inhales. Imagine your pelvic floor is melting into the seat. Legs up the wall. Lay on the floor with a soft blanket or mat below you. Scoot your hips as close to the wall as possible. Your feet should be above you, and your heels should be gently resting on the wall. There shouldn't be too much of a stretch here, as the goal is for your body to fully relax. Relax your jaw and pelvic floor, focusing on deep inhales. Let your body sink into the floor. Baby pose. Lay on the floor with a soft blanket or mat below you. Draw your knees into your chest as you reach for the outer or inner edges of your feet. Point your toes down to the ground and your heels up to the ceiling. Focus on relaxing your pelvic floor with every inhale. Bow to rest. Starting in a kneeling position, bring your knees and feet together. Begin to reach your hands forward in front of you as you sit your bum towards your heels. Your hands should be slightly wider than shoulder width. Actively press your palms into the floor, which will bring your hips closer to your heels for a lengthening of the pelvic floor and a stretch of your low back. Breathe deeply. Can you soften your jaw? Chapter 2. 360 breathing. Your core is an abdominal canister. The top is your diaphragm, which are your breathing muscles. It looks like a jellyfish sitting under your ribcage. Your abdominal walls wrap around your center, front, sides, and back. The bottom is your pelvic floor. When you inhale, your diaphragm presses down, which pushes out on your abdominal wall and down on your pelvic floor. This should relax your pelvic floor. When you exhale, your diaphragm coils back up, your abdominal wall goes back in, and your pelvic floor lifts back up. This should contract your pelvic floor. What is 360 breathing? Sometimes life gets busy. It's common and completely normal to not pay attention to your breathing patterns with so many other things on your to-do list. What I tend to see in my clients is shallow breathing, meaning they are only breathing into their chest, causing tension in their neck and shoulders, and often causing their shoulders to rise and fall with every inhalation and exhalation. Let's talk about 360 breathing, which refers to not only breathing into your chest, but a whole lot deeper when exercising, which in turn will create better breathing habits outside of exercise. You'll want to send your breath on every inhale into your belly, sides, back, and pelvic floor. This turns on your body's natural relaxing hormones, known as your parasympathetic nervous system. It also supports your brain's connection to your pelvic floor and core. How to 360 breathe. Find a neutral spine positioning. Relax your jaw and shoulders, widen your collarbones. Imagine your pelvic floor is an elevator sitting on ground level. Your abdominals are like a corset. As you inhale, your corset expands. As you exhale, your corset pulls tighter, wrapping around your abdomen. Take a big inhale through your nose. Send your breath into the front, sides, and back of your abdominal canister and down into your pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor elevator should move down to P2. Your corset widens. Exhale out of your mouth. Make a ha sound. Your pelvic floor elevator lifts back up, passing ground level, landing at A, ground level if your pelvic floor is overactive, B, level 2 if your pelvic floor is underactive. Your corset pulls tighter. Blueprint tip. You'll want to exhale to engage your pelvic floor and abdominals before any exertion, the most strenuous part of the movement. For example, in a squat, inhale, bend your knees as you sit into a squat. Start your exhale, elevator lifts, knit your corset, engage your core, then stand back up, the hardest part of the exercise. What is a Kegel? In 1950, Arnold Kegel, a gynecologist from the University of Southern California, recommended strengthening the pelvic floor. It is a repetitive exercise of squeezing and holding your pelvic muscles for 3 to 10 seconds, followed by releasing and relaxing the muscles. How to do a proper Kegel? Starting in a neutral spine position. Your pelvic floor elevator is setting at ground level. Inhale, relax your pelvic floor. Let your pelvic floor elevator descend down, passing P1, landing at P2. Now, exhale, make a ha sound with your mouth, lift your elevator back up, passing ground level, landing at level 2. Repeat. Now, let's add a second visual into the mix. On every exhale, lift a marble into your rectum, lift a blueberry into your vagina, lift a raisin into your urethra. This is for visualization purposes only. Blueprint tip. Some women like to say a mantra when their bladders are full, and they really need to go. It keeps them from panicking and then leaking. It can sound a little bit silly, but it actually stops us from panicking, instead helps us focus on something else. I will not pee until I'm on the toilet. I do not need to feel panicked, I will make it. Chapter 3. What is diastasis recti? Diastasis recti is a separation of your middle abdominal muscles, called your rectus abdominis. Your linea alba, the tissues between your abdominals, becomes very thin and can create either a dome, coning, or gap on your belly. This can happen at the top of your abdominals, the bottom, or sometimes the entire thing. Diastasis recti is commonly caused by the expansion of the abdomen for various reasons, including pregnancy and weight gain. Why is diastasis recti problematic? Not only will diastasis recti make it hard for you to engage your abdominals, but it will also affect the relationship between your diaphragm and pelvic floor. When your abdominals are weak or unable to engage properly, it can cause weakness in your abdominal canister and your intra-abdominal pressure system. Many women experience symptoms such as chronic abdominal pain, back pain, pelvis instability, and groin pain. How to check for diastasis recti? Halfway between your breastbone and belly button, find your belly button and your rib cage. Pick up your head. Do you feel a gap? How wide is this gap? Do your fingers squish in? Right above your belly button. Pick up your head. Feel here. Is there any gap? How far do your fingers go in? How many fingers wide is it? 2.5 fingers or less is technically not a diastasis. We are looking for firmness. I have had people close their 2.5 finger gap, but it's not always necessary for function. Halfway between your belly button and pubic bone, pick up your head. Is it firm or is it soft and squishy? I would recommend writing down your findings on the diastasis recti improvement checklist. Improving diastasis recti. To heal diastasis recti, you will want to start by reducing any pressure on your abdominals. The following exercises are considered diastasis unsafe in the beginning. Any front-loading movements such as front planks, push-ups, V-sits, rolling like a ball, burpees, pikes on a ball, ab rollouts, crunches, and sit-ups. Don't feel discouraged though. This doesn't mean you can't slowly begin to intensify the abdominal load as you get stronger. You will eventually progress to the point where you can handle these front-loading movements because they become safe as your body gets stronger. Any exercise or movement that causes your abdominals to puff out or dome is too intense for your current condition. If your abdominals flatten and draw in with the movement, knit your corset, it is safe for you to do. Use this as a guide as you increase your abdominal load. Chapter 4. Posture. The pelvic floor and diaphragm move up and down in sync with each other. When your posture is out of alignment, the pelvic floor and diaphragm lose their connection. This causes weakness in your abdominal canister and your intra-abdominal pressure. Different common postures. There are two specific postures I often see in women with pelvic floor dysfunction and diastasis recti. Both of these incorrect postures create an obstruction from top to bottom in the abdominal canister as the pathway is no longer smooth and clear. Here are the two different, incorrect, yet common postures. Posterior pelvic tilt, tucking your hips under and clenching your bum. The next time you're standing in line at the grocery store or brushing your teeth, purposefully squeeze your glutes and hold for 1 second. Then let them go. Do they feel different? Do you feel a release or relaxation in the muscles? If the answer is yes, then you clench your glutes. Along with practicing relaxing your pelvic floor throughout the day, can you relax your buttocks as well? A little more. Anterior pelvic tilt, sticking your bum out. Neutral spine posture. By maintaining a neutral spine, you will allow for a seamless path between the top and bottom parts of your abdominal canister. This creates easy breathing and a good foundation for healing in your body, repairing your pelvic floor and core. Your neutral spine can be found easily laying down or standing. Place the heels of your hands on your hip bones, the bony landmarks located at the front of your hips. Place your fingertips on your pubic bone. Stick your bottom out. Notice how your pubic bone goes further in from your hip bones. Now, try tucking your bottom under. Notice how your pubic bone sticks out further than your hip bones. If you're laying down, you can try imprinting your spine to the floor. Now, find the perfect spot where your hip bones and pubic bone are in perfect alignment. That is your neutral spine. Everyone's will look a little different. Blueprint tip. When standing in a neutral spine, try to keep equal weight through both of your feet and a slight bend in your knees. Not only will you use 30% more of your muscles, which boosts your metabolism, but your joints, pelvic floor, and core will thank you for it. Upper body alignment importance. Your pecs run across your chest and attach to your shoulders. When they get too tight, they pull your shoulders forward, causing your posture to round forward, known as hunched forward posture. This posture makes your breath shallow because it condenses and squishes the breathing muscles, your diaphragm. As I mentioned earlier, without deep breathing, your abdominal canister becomes weak and dysfunctional because the diaphragm no longer connects well to the abdominal wall and pelvic floor. Try this with me. Slouch in your chair with your shoulders rounded forward. Take a deep breath. You will notice you are unable to get a deep breath. Now, try sitting straight up with your shoulders back. You will notice you can get a deeper breath. Upper body alignment technique. By doing a variation of the following upper body alignment techniques every day, you will have beautiful posture to support natural deep breathing patterns, which supports the healing process of your pelvic floor and diastasis recti. Never stretch to the point of pain. Back bend stretch. Stand with your feet hip distance and a soft bend in your knees. Neutral spine. Bring your hands to the back of your head, clasping your fingers together. Point your elbows wide to the sides of the room. If you have any shoulder pain, point them in a 45-degree angle instead. This should not be painful. Lengthen your spine and neck up towards the ceiling as you open your chest and collarbones. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Palm press stretch. Stand with your feet hip distance and a soft bend in your knees. Neutral spine. Bring your hands together behind your back, clasping your fingers. The heels of your hands should be touching. Straighten your arms as you reach your knuckles down to the floor. Widen your chest and collarbones while focusing on deep breathing. You can try lifting your hands off of your bum for a greater stretch. Wall stretch. Stand against the outer corner of a room or in a doorway. Bend your arm to a 90-degree angle. Your upper arm should be parallel to the floor at shoulder height. Place your forearm against the corner of the wall and the opposite side of your body open to the room. Gently press your forearm into the wall or door to feel a stretch in your chest. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat on the other side. Morning stretch. Rest your head on a pillow. Bring one of your arms to a 90-degree angle behind you. Adjust your body accordingly to feel a stretch in your chest. Breathe and relax. Repeat on the other side. Chapter 5. 3-step movement sequence. These 3 exercises can be practiced anywhere from daily to 3 to 4 times per week. I specifically designed this movement sequence to support a well-functioning pelvic floor and strong core. Bye-bye diastasis recti. Exercise 1. 1 minute. Spinal twisting squat. Bring your feet hip distance, sitting your buttocks back into a squat position. Widen your sit bones. Your ribcage should not be popping out, and your eyes should be gazing 3 feet in front of you. Lengthen your spine and spread your toes. You want all 4 corners of your feet pressing down into the floor. Staying in a deep squat position, inhale. Your arms should be straight. Your palms are reaching 2 feet in front of you. Exhale, knit your abdominals, then open one arm up to the side, twisting through your center. Inhale, return to your starting position. Repeat on the other side, alternating side to side. Exercise 2, 1 minute. Pulsing plie. Bring your feet wide with your toes turned out and your heels turned in. Find your neutral spine. Your back should be able to slide up and down an imaginary wall. Inhale, lower down an inch. Relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, knit your abdominals, then raise up an inch. Repeat as you actively drag your feet in towards each other into the floor to wake up your inner thighs. Your inner thighs are directly connected to your pelvic floor. A variation of this exercise you may want to practice is standing up fully and bending your knees, lowering back to the bottom of your plie with your breath. Inhale as you sit into a wide leg plie. Exhale, knit your abdominals, then stand back up, moving slowly and intentionally. Exercise 3, 1 minute. Squat to lunge. Bring your feet hip distance, sending your buttocks back into a squat position, widening your sit bones. Your ribcage should not be popping out, and your eyes should be gazing 3 feet in front of you. Lengthen your spine and spread your toes. You will want all 4 corners of your feet pressing into the floor. Staying in a deep squat position, inhale, step 1 foot back into a lunge, keep your heel pointing up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knit your abdominals, then step that foot back into a squat position. Repeat on the other side. Continue to alternate, moving with your breath. Thank you for watching today. This is your Female Vitality Blueprint. Orgasms! Yay! You get an orgasm! You get an orgasm!
Great.